The foot, an incredibly important piece of our arsenal as a human. It is our foundation, if you will, as it is the last point of contact between our body and the ground. And I could write a novel, two, three, maybe unlimited, about all the different functions and important uses of the foot. We'll go over a couple of them, but mostly this video is how we can bring awareness to how our feet incorporate and work with the back chain of our body, how we can use them to our advantage, how we can use them to make our movement efficient, frequent, and safe. And so there's a few parts of the foot that we want to have our awareness to. We got our toes here. Our toes are a big part of people's awareness now as people are understanding that, hey, maybe I should get some shoes with a wider toe box to let my toes splay out how they're naturally supposed to. That's really important. Our toes are exceptional for balance, for gripping the ground. But we've put our feet in foot prisons for so long that we've kind of omitted the use of our foot. But when we suffocate its ability and its capacity to be used to its fullest extent, that problem tends to butterfly effect up the rest of our body. So having a healthy foot, having healthy toes, letting our foot widen the way that it's meant to can help everything else going on in our body. So that's one thing. We've got the arch of our foot. It's really important that we maintain a strong arch. This helps maintain strength throughout our entire foot. When we land on the ground, we want a strong piece of mechanism of body to be receiving that pressure from the ground. And a strong arch is indicative that we are strong on the outside part of our foot. We are used to loading the outside part of our foot. What loading the outside part of our foot does is it helps send pressure outside and back around into our back chain. So I can load up this really powerful structure back here that's meant to take my weight. A lot of us, whether it's due to sitting too much in a forward thrusted position or modern shoes that have arch support and alleviate our responsibility for maintaining and strengthening the arches in our feet, a lot of us end up pressurizing the inside edge of the foot, which leads to a collapsed arch, which leads to ankles that are collapsing and coming in. Our inside ankle bone is dropping low. Boom, just like that. And you can see the difference between a foot that loads up and out and around, that's really strong, sending pressure to the back, or something that's loading the inside edge and compromising the knee. If I'm loading that inside edge and trying to move forward, you can see what happens to my knee. That's a really dangerous position. This is where a lot of ACL tears happen in professional sports. So if I'm going from over here to over here, I want to land in this position where everything's opening up. I'm on the outside edge of the foot. Everything's opening up, being sent to the back. If I jump over here and land like this, put my pressure down, look where that pressure is going. Boom. That's not a very safe place for the knee. But if I load and I can spiral open, boom, everything's going to the outside. So how can we use our awareness to create healthy feet, to create a healthy structure, which affects everything else? Well, one thing is just to keep our feet straight, or as much as we possibly can. So if we catch ourselves standing like this, whether we're at work, we're in the kitchen, we look down, there are my feet, I can just make a simple adjustment to turn them neutral. This is really important because this is an external rotation, which is important in terms of our entire gait. And then this is an internal rotation, which is also important in terms of our gait. We want access to both of those. And so what is a logical and safe and comfortable middle ground is but to have our feet pointing basically straight ahead. That way we have access to both internal and external when we need to. We come back to home base as a place of default. If we are stuck externally rotated, that means that our capacity to internally rotate is limited. And internal rotation is really important for when we load a step, we load our weight, and then we need to leave. We need to use that weight we've opened up and accumulated to the outside to push forward into that next step. We need that internal rotation. So a stance like this signals to us that we don't have much capacity for internally rotating. So just this one simple awareness drill of bringing our feet pointing forward can help us access and spend more time in this mid position, bring some more internal rotation to our toolkit. Another small awareness that we can have is just while you're standing here, feel where the pressure is being allocated on your foot. Where do you feel it? Do you feel it along the inside edge? Can you shift it to feel it along your toes, along the ball of your foot, and the outside edge? It might be helpful to go into a sort of access squat here, or even just like a wall sit. You put your butt against the wall. You have your feet pointing straight forward, and then try to rip the ground apart. That's going to help you put pressure on the outside edge of your feet. Putting pressure on the outside edge of your feet helps you build strong arches. It helps keep your ankle in a really powerful position. And then as you continue to build strength, you can start lifting your heels up off the ground. And your ankles will get strong really quickly. And then you have some really strong, powerful feet to stand on that don't collapse inward whenever you take an impact. Whether you're jumping or doing sports, we really want to avoid pressurizing the inside, which leads to the ankle collapsing, which leads to the knee leading in. That's a dangerous position. That's asking for injuries. That's not safe. When we land, we want everything to open up, be sent to the back. That's a big pressure being allocated to big muscles, which are meant to take it. We do not want to land, boop, like this. Put all that pressure on these ligaments, on these tendons, on our joints. That sucks. So, simple awareness with our feet. If we catch ourselves like this, boom, bring the feet to neutral. Feel them, feel the outside edge. Stay there for as long as you can. And then the next time you notice it, let's put my feet back to neutral. Tiny little movement snacks and adjustments we can make throughout the day to bring some more internal rotation to our hips, to bring some more strength to our feet. This has been Foot Awareness with Coach Julian. Send any questions if you have any. I'll be happy to answer them. Take care.